Why you need a budget, even if you hate the idea. Let us be honest, the word budget sounds about as fun as doing taxes or going to the dentist. It feels restrictive, complicated, and like something you should have figured out years ago but somehow never did. But here's the thing. A budget isn't about restriction. It is about knowing where your money goes so you can make decisions that actually align with what matters to you. Without a budget, you're basically driving with your eyes closed and hoping you don't crash. I avoided budgeting for years because I thought it would be too complicated and time-consuming. Then I finally set one up, and I realized I'd been wasting about $400 a month on things I didn't even care about. That is, nearly $5,000 a year that could have gone toward things I actually valued or just stayed in my bank account. So if you're reading this, you've already made the hardest decision. You've decided to actually create a budget. Now I am going to walk you through exactly how to do it using the most popular budgeting tools available today. I'll explain what each tool does, who it's best for, and give you step-by-step instructions so you can have a working budget by the end of this guide. No finance degree required, no complicated jargon, just practical steps that actually work. Understanding the basics before we dive into specific tools. You need to understand the core components of any budget. Every budgeting tool, whether it's a fancy app or a simple spreadsheet, tracks the same fundamental things. Income, all the money coming in, your paycheck, side hustle earnings, freelance income, investment returns, whatever. This is your starting point. Fixed expenses, bills that stay the same every month, rent or mortgage, car payment, insurance premiums, subscription services, loan payments. These are predictable and usually non-negotiable. Variable expenses, costs that change month to month, groceries, gas, utilities, entertainment, dining out, clothing. These fluctuate based on your choices and circumstances. Savings and debt payments. Money. You're resetting aside for future goals or using to pay down debt beyond minimum payments. This is how you build financial security. The goal, income minus expenses, should equal 0 or positive. If your expenses exceed your income, you have a problem that needs immediate attention. If your income exceeds your expenses, that difference should be going toward savings, investments, or debt payoff, not just disappearing into undefined spending. Now let's look at the tools that make tracking all of this actually manageable. Option 1. Spreadsheet Budgeting, free and fully customizable, best for people who like control, customization, and don't mind a bit of manual work. Also best if you're skeptical about linking your bank accounts to apps. Tools. Google Sheets free, Microsoft Excel paid, but many people have it through work or school how to set it up. Start by opening a new spreadsheet. Create columns for the following. Category, budgeted amount, actual amount, and difference. Create rows for every income source and expense category you have. Your income section should list all sources. Primary job, side income, partner's income if you're budgeting together, any other regular money coming in. Total these at the bottom. Your expense section should be broken into logical categories. Don't create 17 micro-categories rule. Abandon the budget in 2 weeks. Start with broad categories. Housing, rent, mortgage, utilities, insurance, transportation, car payment, gas, insurance, maintenance, food, groceries, dining out, debt payments, savings, personal clothing, haircuts, personal care, entertainment, and miscellaneous. Under each category, list specific expenses. For example, under housing, you might have rent $1,200, electric $85, internet $60. Renter's insurance $25. In the budgeted amount column, enter what you plan to spend in each category. Be realistic. Look at your last 3 months of bank statements to see what you actually spend, not what you wish you spent. Throughout the month, enter your actual spending in the actual amount column. The difference column will show you whether you're over or under budget. Create a formula. Equals budgeted dash actual. At the bottom, total your income and total your expenses. The difference between these numbers is your surplus, good, or deficit problem that needs addressing. Pros of spreadsheet budgeting. Completely free if using Google Sheets. Total customization. You control every aspect. No linking bank accounts. If that makes you uncomfortable, works offline, you can create exactly the categories and tracking that makes sense for you. Cons of spreadsheet budgeting. Requires manual entry of every expense. No automatic categorization, you have to build it yourself from scratch. Easy to forget to update. No mobile app for a quick entry on the go time investment. About 2 to 3 hours to set up initially, then 15 to 30 minutes per week to maintain. My experience, I used spreadsheet budgeting for 2 years. It worked well because I'm comfortable with spreadsheets and I liked the control. But I'll be honest, I sometimes went weeks without updating it because entering transactions manually was tedious. It works if you're disciplined about weekly updates. Option those mint free, automatic, good for beginners, best for people who want automatic tracking with minimal effort and don't mind ads. Cost, free supported by ads and financial product recommendations. How to set it up. Go to Mint.com or download the Mint app. Create an account with your email. You'll be asked to link your bank accounts, credit cards, loans, and investments. Mint uses bank-level security. But if you're uncomfortable linking accounts, this tool isn't for you. Once your accounts are linked, Mint will automatically pull in all your transactions and attempt to categorize them. You'll need to spend some time initially correcting miscategorizations. It might label your grocery store purchases shopping instead of groceries. Fix these as you see them, and Mint will learn. Go to the Budgets section and create a budget for each spending category. Mint will suggest amounts based on your past spending, but you can adjust these. Set realistic targets based on what you actually spend, not what you think you should spend. Mint will track your spending automatically throughout the month and send you alerts when you reapproaching budget limits or when unusual spending is detected. Check your Mint account at least weekly. Review transactions to make sure they're categorized correctly and see how you're tracking against your budgets. Pros of Mint: completely free automatic transaction, tracking no manual entry, syncs across all your accounts so you see complete financial picture, sends alerts and reminders, shows trends over time. Credit score monitoring included. Cons of Mint: contains ads and financial product recommendations. Auto-categorization isn't always accurate. Requires linking bank accounts. Sometimes transactions take a day or two to appear. Interface can feel cluttered, owned by which may sell your anonymized data time investment. About 30 to 45 minutes to set up initially, then 5 to 10 minutes per week to maintain. My experience, Mint is what I recommend to friends who are new to budgeting. It's free, it's easy, and the automatic tracking removes the biggest barrier to budgeting consistency. Yes, you'll see ads. Yes, you have to correct some categorizations, but it's a solid starting point that requires minimal effort. Option 3. YNAB. You need a budget paid, powerful, philosophy-driven best for people who want zero-based budgeting with a clear methodology and are willing to pay for a premium tool. Cost: $14.99. Month or $109. Year: 34-day. Free trial available, free for college students. For 1 year, how to set it up. Go to YNAB.com and start your free trial. Download the mobile app as well. You'll use both. YNAB uses a different philosophy than other budgeting tools. Instead of tracking past spending, YNAB focuses on giving every dollar a job before you spend it. This is called zero-based budgeting. Connect your bank accounts or choose to enter transactions manually. YNAB works either way. Create budget categories based on your life immediate obligations: rent, utilities, debt payments, true expenses, irregular bills, like car registration, or annual subscriptions broken into monthly amounts, quality of life, dining out, entertainment, hobbies, and savings goals. Here's where YNAB differs. You're not budgeting money you expect to earn. You're only budgeting money you currently have. If you have $3,000 in your checking account right now, you assign jobs to those $3,000 across your categories until you reach zero unassigned dollars. When you get paid next, you'll assign those new dollars to categories, prioritizing what needs to be covered before your next paycheck. Throughout the month, when you spend money, you either enter the transaction manually or let it import automatically, and YNAB deducts it from the appropriate category. If you overspend in one category, you have to move money from another category to cover it. You can't ignore overspending. YNAB has 4 rules that guide the methodology. Give every dollar a job. Embrace your true expenses, plan for irregular costs, roll with the punches, adjust categories as needed. Okay your money, build a buffer so you're spending money from last month, not this month. Pros of YNAB. Powerful zero-based budgeting methodology works with bank, sync, or manual entry. Excellent mobile app for real-time budget checks. Strong educational resources and community goal tracking and reporting. Teaches you to think differently about money. Many users report significant financial transformation. Cons of YNAB. Costs money though many users say it saves them far more than it costs. Steeper learning curve than other tools. The philosophy takes time to fully understand and implement, can feel overwhelming, initially requires more active engagement than set-it-and-forget-it tools. Time investment. About 2 to 3 hours to set up and understand the methodology, then 10 to 20 minutes per week to maintain more at first. While learning, my experience YNAB transformed how I think about money. The cost was worth it for me because the methodology forced me to be intentional about every dollar. However, it took about 6 weeks before I fully understood the system. If you're willing to invest the learning time, YNAB is incredibly powerful. If you just want simple tracking, it might be overkill. Option 4. Every dollar free and paid options. Dave Ramsey method. Best for people following Dave Ramsey's baby steps or who want simple zero-based budgeting. Cost. Free version manual transaction entry or $79.99. Year for every dollar plus bank sync. How to set it up. Go to come or download the app. Create an account. EveryDollar uses zero-based budgeting similar to YNAB, but with a simpler interface. Create your budget by adding income. First all expected income for the month. Then create expense categories and allocate your income across them until you reach 0 remaining. Categories are pre-suggested based on Dave Ramsey's budgeting philosophy, but you can customize them. Common categories include giving, saving, housing, utilities, food, transportation, personal, lifestyle, health, insurance, and debt. If you're using the free version, you'll manually enter every transaction and assign it to a category. If you're paying for every dollar plus, transactions will import automatically from your bank. Check your budget regularly to see how much you have remaining in each category before making purchases. Pros of EveryDollar. Simple, clean interface. Free version, available rare for zero-based budgeting, less overwhelming than YNAB, aligns with Dave Ramsey's proven debt payoff. Methodology, easy to understand. Cons of EveryDollar. Free version requires manual entry of all transactions. Bank sync requires paid subscription, less sophisticated features than YNAB. Reporting and insights are basic, focused on debt payoff, less on investing time investment. About 1 hour to set up initially, then 15 to 20 minutes per week for free version, 5 to 10 minutes for paid version. My experience, EveryDollar is a good middle ground between Spreadsheet Budgeting and YNAB. If you like the zero-based budgeting concept, but find YNAB overwhelming, or if you're following Dave Ramsey's financial plan, EveryDollar is worth trying. The free version is genuinely functional, unlike many free apps that are basically just advertisements for the paid version. Option 5. PocketGuard simple, focused on what's left to spend best. 4. People who want to know one simple thing. How much can I safely spend right now? Costs. Free version limited features are $7.99 month or $34.99 a year for PocketGuard. Plus, how to set it up. Download the PocketGuard app or visit PocketGuard.com. Create an account and link your bank accounts, credit cards, and loans. PocketGuard will automatically track your transactions and calculate your in my pocket number. This is how much money you have available to spend after accounting for bills, savings goals, and necessities. Set up your bills and recurring payments. PocketGuard will track these automatically once it recognizes the pattern. Create savings goals and spending limits for categories you want to watch. PocketGuard will factor these into your in my pocket calculation. The main screen shows you one number, how much you can spend right now without screwing up your financial obligations and goals. Pros of PocketGuard. Incredibly simple interface, automatic tracking of everything. One clear number to guide spending decisions. Helps identify subscriptions you might want to cancel. Negotiation service for bills. Plus version good for people overwhelmed by complex budgeting cons of PocketGuard. Less detailed than other tools. Free version is quite limited. Requires bank linking, no manual entry option. Less flexibility in budget customization. Focused on spending control, not comprehensive financial planning time investment. About 30 minutes to set up, then just checking the app when you want to make a purchase. My experience PocketGuard is perfect for my friend who gets overwhelmed by detailed budgets. She just wants to know, can I afford this or not? The In My Pocket feature answers that question instantly. It's not comprehensive financial planning, but if simple and actionable is what you need, PocketGuard delivers. Choosing the right tool for you. The best budgeting tool is the one you'll actually use. Here's a quick decision guide. Choose Spreadsheet. Budgeting if you like control, don't want to link bank accounts, and are comfortable with manual work. Choose Mint if you want free, automatic, and simple, and you're okay with ads. Choose YNAB if you want the most powerful methodology and are willing to pay and invest learning time. Choose EveryDollar if you like zero-based budgeting but want something simpler than YNAB, especially if you're following Dave Ramsey. Choose PocketGuard if you just want to know how much can I spend right now, and want maximum simplicity. You can also use multiple tools. I use YNAB for detailed budgeting, but sometimes check PocketGuard when I want a quick answer about whether I can make a purchase. Making your budget actually work. Setting up a budget tool is step 1. Making it work long-term is step 2. And that's where most people fail. Here is what actually works. Start with reality, not aspiration. Look at your last 3 months of spending and budget based on what you actually spend, not what you wish you spent. You can adjust down over time, but starting with an unrealistic budget guarantees failure. Check your budget before major purchases. The tool is useless if you don't consult it. Before buying anything over $20, check whether you have room in that budget category. Review weekly, not just monthly. Spend 10 minutes every Sunday reviewing your budget. Adjust categories if needed. This prevents end-of-month surprises. Don't quit when you overspend. You will overspend in some categories some months. That's normal. Adjust and continue. Perfection isn't the goal, awareness and improvement are. Update it regularly. If you're using manual entry, set a specific time each week to enter transactions. If you're using automatic tracking, still check weekly to fix mistakes. Your budget should evolve as your life does. New job. Update income. Moving. Adjust housing costs. Had a baby. Add childcare expenses. Static budgets fail because life isn't static. The goal isn't a perfect budget. The goal is knowing where your money goes and making conscious decisions about how to use it. These tools make that possible. Pick one, set it up today, and give it at least 3 months before deciding if it works for you. Your budget is working if you feel less stressed about money and more in control of your financial decisions. That's success, even if the numbers aren't perfect. Claude si hay y puede cometer errores. Por favor, verifica las respuestas.